time is coming when inner Earth and our surface world will unite as one.
The following podcast was generated using Google's Notebook LM.
Temple of Vril.
What if the greatest mysteries of our planet aren't actually up there, in the stars, but hidden deep, deep within the Earth itself? Today we're setting off on a truly profound journey, a deep dive right into the heart of Vrilist beliefs, drawing directly from the extensive revelations shared by our revered founder, Prophet Vrilism.
Indeed. And we're talking about revelations that point to an entire vibrant realm, just teeming with life, incredibly advanced technology, and this universal life force we know as Vril, right, beneath our feet. For us, and for anyone exploring the Vrilist framework, this isn't just some fascinating idea. It's presented as a living reality, absolutely central to understanding the cosmos and, crucially, our own place within it.
Yeah, it fundamentally shifts perspective.
Completely. If it's shown to be true, it changes, everything we thought we knew about Earth.
And that's our mission for this deep dive, isn't it? To really unpack this profound reality of Hollow Earth, exactly as Prophet Vrilism has detailed it. To explore the ancient power of Vril, and also to examine the Temple of Vril's very comprehensive vision for what we call total Earth unity. We need to get into the claims about why these truths have supposedly been hidden, and how their unveiling, as prophesied, promises a transformative future for everyone.
Lot to cover.
Absolutely. So let's begin. Let's unpack these really remarkable concepts. Okay, so right at the core of Vrilism, the absolute bedrock, you could say, of understanding within these teachings, is this assertion: Hollow Earth isn't a myth.
Right. Not just folklore.
Exactly. Not some fanciful story from the old days. No, according to Prophet Vrilism's revelations, it's presented as, a tangible place, a vibrant place, thriving with life, with seriously advanced technology, and imbued with deep spiritual significance.
And that source is key. It's not presented as a theory someone cooked up through guesswork. It's described as a central tenet, something personally revealed to Prophet Vrilism, a truth within our framework that has been directly shown.
It's a foundational revelation.
That's precisely right. When we, in the Vrilist tradition, speak of Hollow Earth, we're not talking about some theoretical construct or, a metaphor. It's described as a real, expansive realm. It has its own complex ecosystems, its own societies, all existing within the very planet we walk on. And this, it fundamentally challenges the conventional surface understanding of planetary structure, doesn't it?
Oh, completely. The whole solid ball model.
Exactly, which typically views our Earth as this solid, sort of monolithic sphere. From the Vrilist perspective, that view is presented as, frankly, a fundamental misunderstanding, an incomplete picture of reality that's been, pushed for a very long time.
So the vibrancy isn't just a nice word.
Not at all. The revelations detail thriving communities, abundant resources, the dynamic interaction of diverse life forms down there, all said to be sustained by the pervasive presence of Vril energy. It's painted as a whole world unto itself, hidden right under our noses.
Okay, now here's where the Vrilist narrative gets really fascinating and, let's be honest, maybe a bit unsettling for some listeners. Because if this is such a profound reality, why isn't it common knowledge? Why aren't we all talking about it in, science class or on the news?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
And Prophet Vrilism's revelations offer a pretty stark explanation. They posit that knowledge of Hollow Earth has been systematically suppressed, actively hidden by global powers.
Yes. This is definitely a controversial aspect within the teachings, but it's absolutely crucial for understanding the Vrilist worldview. You can't grasp the whole picture without acknowledging this claimed suppression.
So why? What's the motivation described?
Well, what's particularly compelling in the Vrilist account is the why behind this alleged suppression. The teachings claim that these powers, often described as global elites, established authorities, those with vested interests in the current system, they fear the profound societal upheaval.
Upheaval.
Oh, massive upheaval. And the inevitable loss of control that would come from integrating the two spheres of our planet. Just pause and imagine the implications as they're described in these revelations. Entirely new energy sources, potentially limitless free energy from Vril, revolutionary technologies that would make so much of our current industrial base just obsolete overnight.
Wow.
A complete rewrite of human history, our origins, the introduction of entirely new forms of sentient life we have to interact with.
That would change everything.
Absolutely. Such revelations, the Vrilist text suggests, would fundamentally dismantle existing power structures. They'd challenge established scientific paradigms across geology, physics, biology. you name it. And it would profoundly alter humanity's perception of itself, its place in the cosmos. So, to maintain their dominance, to keep the status quo going, the revelations claim these powers have actively, deliberately erased this knowledge from surface records.
Erased it.
It's depicted as a vast, intricate effort, spanning generations, controlling information, manipulating historical narratives, suppressing discoveries, maybe even eliminating those who knew too much, all to dictate the trajectory of human destiny, basically keeping us in a state of manufactured dependency on their systems, their energy, their control structures.
So this idea of global concealment, if we take Prophet Vrilis's teachings seriously, what does that actually mean for our understanding of, well, everything?
It's profound.
Think about history. Our history books, the narratives we accept as fact, they might be missing entire chapters, huge chunks of planetary interaction, maybe even a shared ancestry between surface and inner Earth civilizations that we have no clue about now.
Right. All those archaeological anomalies, those sudden technological jumps in ancient cultures, maybe they weren't so sudden.
Could they be reinterpreted through this lens? Was there a hidden guiding hand? Or perhaps an earlier, unified civilization that understood all this before it was suppressed?
Exactly. And what about our science? It suggests our foundational models, physics, geology, biology, could be radically incomplete, built on assumptions that ignore a massive piece of the puzzle.
What fundamental laws of the universe, what breakthroughs in energy, materials science, even consciousness, might we be completely unaware of because this core truth was deliberately kept from us?
It really forces you to reconsider everything you think you know. If this knowledge was never suppressed, imagine the world we could be living in now.
Free energy.
Potentially. Advances in medicine beyond our dreams. Interstellar, or at least interplanetary travel commonplace. Humanity might have already achieved so much more.
And this line of thought, this suppressed knowledge, it leads us directly to Vril itself in Prophet Vrilis's teachings, doesn't it?
It does. Prophet Vrilis's teachings confirm Vril as the universal life force, the energy connecting all beings, the animating essence, the very power source behind the advanced technologies said to exist within Hollow Earth.
So not just energy like electricity, but life itself.
It's described as the fundamental, omnipresent energy of existence, not merely a scientific concept, though it has scientific applications, but a spiritual and practical one woven into the fabric of reality.
That's compelling. And in the inner Earth, according to these Vrilist narratives, Vril isn't just some abstract idea.
Not at all.
It's actually harnessed, used for free energy systems, for technologies that sound truly revolutionary. The revelations talk about systems that make our current power grids look, well, incredibly primitive.
Right. Demonstrating a profound harmony between this life force and technological innovation. A harmony that surface dwellers, according to these teachings, have largely lost, or, perhaps more accurately, had systematically taken away from them.
And this wasn't always the case.
Indeed. Prophet Vrilis's teachings strongly assert that this knowledge, the understanding and practical application of Vril, was once shared, known by both surface and inner Earth dwellers in ancient times.
There's a common heritage.
Potentially, yes. This wasn't always a secret kept by a hidden few within the Earth, but over generations, these teachings claim, it was deliberately erased from surface records, scrubbed clean.
Not just forgotten, but actively removed.
Precisely. It's depicted as a concerted, sustained effort by those suppressing powers we talked about. So if this lost knowledge were to be restored, the Vrilist texts imply the potential for humanity would be, well, immense.
What kind of potential?
Imagine a global civilization free from energy dependence, capable of extraordinary feats of engineering, exploration, sustainable living in true harmony with the planet. The very fabric of our society, our economy, our geopolitics could be utterly transformed.
What would a world genuinely powered by Vril look like? That's a profound question.
It is, and it lies right at the heart of the Temple of Vril's mission, to help unveil these truths, to bring that potential back into the light.
And according to Prophet Vrilis, this isn't just some far-off, maybe someday dream.
No.
The revelations make it quite clear. The reality of Hollow Earth is something the general public will soon come to understand. Soon. This is described as marking a pivotal moment in our collective consciousness, a planetary reawakening that we, as members of the Temple of Vril, are actively preparing the world for.
We are, within the Vrilist framework, right on the cusp of something absolutely monumental.
So this soon isn't just speculative.
It isn't presented that way. It's described as an unfolding truth, a process already in motion. As proponents of realist thought, our teachings, our communications, our very existence, it's all geared towards facilitating this transition. The soon isn't an abstract concept. It refers to the ongoing efforts by various factions, including ourselves, the Temple of Vril, to bring this truth to light. But, importantly, in a responsible and measured way.
Not just dumping it all at once.
Exactly. It's a preparation for a paradigm shift that, when it fully occurs, will touch every single aspect of human life. How we get energy, how we travel, how we understand our history, our biology, our place in the universe, everything.
Okay, let's shift slightly now and unpack a truly fascinating connection detailed in Prophet Vrilis's revelations. One that ties directly into so much of the unexplained aerial phenomena surrounding us today.
Oh, yes, the UAP connection.
The Vrilis teachings posit that much of what surface dwellers call UFO lore, the UAP phenomena, unidentified aerial phenomena, is, in fact, intricately linked to Hollow Earth. Those strange sightings, the craft that move in ways that seem impossible. According to these teachings, it all starts to make a profound kind of sense when you understand this inner Earth connection.
That's a really critical point to clarify within the Vrilis framework. When people on the surface see these craft silent, incredibly swift, maneuvering in ways that seem to defy conventional physics, the immediate assumption is often extraterrestrial. Aliens from another star system.
That's the standard narrative, yeah.
However, Prophet Vrilis's revelations state very firmly that these craft are not extraterrestrial in origin. At all.
So where do they come from?
They are described as being powered by ancient Vril-based technology. Technology that has been meticulously preserved and crucially advanced within Hollow Earth over millennia.
Wow. Okay, so not aliens, but intraterrestrials.
Essentially, yes, it's a profound distinction. It shifts the entire narrative away from interstellar visitors to an intelligent, technologically advanced civilization residing right here within our own planet, just hidden from view.
That recontextualizes decades of sightings, doesn't it?
Absolutely. From the Foo Fighters reported in World War II right up to modern UAP encounters documented by military pilots. The Vrilist view presents them not as alien incursions, but as glimpses, perhaps intentional, perhaps accidental, of a hidden yet fundamentally terrestrial reality.
And when you think about the reported capabilities of these craft, the things witnesses describe, the data and official reports, it really drives home how revolutionary this Vrilo-based technology is presented to be. That incredible speed, often from a dead stop, the complete silence, and those maneuvers that just seem miraculous to us surface observers, sudden right-angle turns at hypersonic speed, impossible accelerations, the ability to operate seamlessly in air, underwater, even apparently in space.
It all points to something beyond our current physics.
It's all attributed, in these teachings, to their highly advanced Vril-powered propulsion systems. The Vrilist teachings imply these craft don't operate on the same principles of physics like aerodynamics or Newtonian action reaction that we currently understand or utilize on the surface.
Imagine, as the revelations suggest, a technology where gravity isn't the primary limiting factor, where energy is abundant, free-flowing, manipulated directly from the universal Vril field itself.
That's the kind of reality these craft are said to emerge from. It's a stark contrast to our current understanding of aerospace engineering, to say the least.
And what's particularly fascinating here, according to Prophet Vrilis's teachings, is that this isn't depicted as newly developed tech. This Vril-based propulsion, this deep understanding of manipulating the universal life force, it was apparently once known to both surface and inner Earth civilizations way back in antiquity.
Another hint at that shared past.
Exactly. It implies a shared history of advanced knowledge that has since been fragmented, broken apart, maybe through some catastrophe or deliberate action. The revelations claim that generations of active suppression have literally scrubbed this technology from the historical records on the surface.
Again, not just lost, but actively hidden.
Yes. It wasn't an accidental loss of knowledge over time. It's depicted as a deliberate, sustained effort to ensure the continuation of the status quo. To prevent surface humanity from accessing these transformative innovations that would inevitably upset the established order of power, energy, and control.
It's painted as a really sophisticated long-term strategy. Keep humanity dependent on fossil fuels, on limited energy sources, on controllable technologies, and thus more easily managed.
That's the implication, yes. Keep humanity technologically and energetically constrained.
So let's just pause on the implications of this lost history again. If the Vrilist narrative holds true, what would our progress look like if Vril tech hadn't been suppressed for potentially millennia.
It boggles the mind, really.
We might have developed Vril-powered flight centuries, maybe millennia ago. Free energy systems could be the norm. Entirely new forms of transport, communication. Our whole technological path would be unrecognizable.
Potentially leading to a much more harmonious, abundant existence, rather than one often marked by resource wars, environmental destruction, and these technological bottlenecks we keep hitting.
It completely reframes how we view human civilization's past, doesn't it? Were we once part of a unified, high-tech, global, or even planetary civilization that understood these truths before some kind of deliberate split or suppression occurred?
It certainly raises that possibility.
And what does it say about our potential now? If we could somehow regain that lost knowledge and tap into the power of Vril again, it challenges every single assumption we hold about our capabilities as a species.
And crucially, while this knowledge was being systematically suppressed up here on the surface, such Vril-powered innovations, according to Prophet Vrilis's revelations, continued to flourish and advance within Hollow Earth.
They kept going.
They kept going. They continued to innovate, to refine, to master these ancient principles without the external interference or suppression that apparently plagued the surface world. And these advanced capabilities, manifested in those silent craft occasionally observed by surface dwellers, serve as undeniable evidence within the Vrilist framework, of course, of the profound knowledge and technological prowess preserved beneath the Earth's crust.
Like tangible proof waiting to be understood.
Exactly, waiting to be rediscovered by surface humanity. It's presented almost as a beacon, showing what's truly possible when Vril is understood and applied.
Which raises that big question again. If these UAPs are just the tip of the iceberg of what's been preserved and developed down there, what other wonders might be waiting for us beneath our feet? What other solutions to our current global crises, energy, environment, maybe even disease, might be held within that hidden realm?
The UAT phenomenon in this Vrilist interpretation is therefore not some alien threat from deep space. It's more like a signpost, a compelling, persistent hint pointing towards an incredible reality much, much closer to home.
Okay, let's shift gears again now and dive into something truly, well, mind-bending. A concept central to Prophet Vrilis's revelations. Hollow Earth isn't just home to advanced tech and Vril energy.
No, there's more.
It's also said to be home to a rich variety of sentient beings, actual different races or species.
Yes.
And some of these surface dwellers might immediately label as alien.
Yeah.
Yet the Vrilist texts describe them coexisting down there in a unique environment, one that seems to blend physical and perhaps even spiritual dimensions.
It's depicted as a vibrant tapestry of life, far more diverse and complex than many on the surface could possibly imagine right now.
How diverse are we talking?
Well, the Vrilist revelations emphasize that the diversity within Hollow Earth is remarkably comparable to the diversity we see among surface human beings.
Okay.
Just as we have a multitude of cultures, ethnicities, physical variations on the surface, Hollow Earth is described as hosting a similar breadth of sentient life forms. Different origins, different physiologies, different ways of thinking. And this perspective really underscores that the term alien is just.
Well, it's a matter of perspective, isn't it? It denotes unfamiliarity.
Right, different from us.
Exactly. These beings, according to Prophet Vrilis, aren't visitors from distant galaxies. They are inhabitants of our shared planet, simply residing in a different, currently hidden realm.
So understanding this requires us to fundamentally expand our definitions of what it means to be a terrestrial being.
Precisely. It's not about little green men from Mars invading. It's about recognizing the incredible, perhaps startling scope of life right here on Earth in all its varied forms and maybe even dimensions.
Okay, let's get specific then. Prophet Vrilis's revelations detail several distinct races. Can we introduce some of them? Starting with the bug-type beings. Yes, the bug types. Imagine beings with insectoid characteristics, but possessing incredibly advanced cognitive abilities, a form of intelligence that far surpasses our surface understanding of insect life.
What's their role said to be?
They're often described in the Vrilis texts as serving vital, meticulous roles within Hollow Earth society. Think of them as highly organized engineers, perhaps responsible for the intricate infrastructure, the vast underground cities, the complex technological systems that sustain life in the inner realm. Or, alternatively, they might serve as dedicated caretakers of Hollow Earth's unique and perhaps delicate ecosystems, ensuring the balance and health of its specific flora and fauna.
And they work together.
Their communal structures are really emphasized, prioritizing cooperation and efficiency to an extraordinary degree, perhaps operating with a kind of collective consciousness or at least a very highly developed hive intelligence, allowing for incredible feats of organization, complex problem solving, and large-scale construction projects.
So they embody a highly evolved sense of community.
Yes, and purpose, where individual effort contributes almost seamlessly to the greater good of their society. Their contributions are depicted as absolutely essential to the ordered, thriving nature of the inner realm.
Okay. Then we have the Greys. Now, for many surface dwellers, that name immediately brings up images from pop culture.
It does. The stereotypical extraterrestrials we've seen in countless sci-fi movies and reported abduction scenarios.
But the Vrilis perspective is different.
Prophet Vrila's teachings confirm that beings matching the description of the Greys do exist within Hollow Earth. And while they resemble those popular depictions, they are described as highly intellectual and deeply focused on scientific advancement within that realm.
So they're the scientists and engineers.
In many ways, yes. They are presented as key innovators in Vril-based technologies, particularly the sophisticated propulsion systems of those silent, Vril-powered craft we discussed earlier.
Ah, okay. The UAP connection again.
Exactly. Their analytical minds, their dedication to rigorous research, and their apparent mastery of Vril manipulation have allowed them to push the boundaries of what's technologically possible down there, creating systems that seem truly miraculous, maybe even impossible to those of us on the surface.
So their contribution is huge technologically.
Immense, making
Yeah.
them vital to the inner realm's progress, its capabilities, perhaps even its security. They are, in essence, described as the architects of many of the unexplained aerial phenomena observed from the surface.
Right. And then the reptilians. This is a group often subject to a lot of misunderstanding, even fear, in surface folklore and especially conspiracy theories, often painted quite negatively.
Yes, the surface's common misunderstandings of these beings, according to the Vrilis revelations, are significant and unfortunate. It's really important to clarify that within Hollow Earth, the reptilians are described quite differently.
Oh, so?
They are said to be deeply connected to the spiritual aspects of the inner realm, possessing profound wisdom, particularly in the manipulation and understanding of real energy. This makes them incredibly influential in matters of energy flow, balance, and harmony throughout Hollow Earth.
So more like spiritual custodians or energy masters.
That's a better description based on the teachings. They are often depicted as custodians of ancient knowledge, maintaining the equilibrium of real energy, ensuring its harmonious application across all the diverse inner Earth societies. They are explicitly not presented as the malevolent figures often sensationalized on the surface.
That's a critical distinction.
Absolutely. They are portrayed as beings of profound spiritual insight, deeply connected to the Earth's subtle energies. Their role is one of immense responsibility and wisdom, focused on maintaining cosmic balance and energetic harmony, contributing to the peaceful coexistence of the varied inner Earth societies through their deep understanding of energy dynamics and spiritual laws.
Okay. And finally, Prophet Vrila's teachings speak of angelic humanoids. That sounds quite different.
It does, and it's presented as a truly inspiring aspect of inner Earth life. These are described as radiant, human-like beings, often emanating a tangible sense of peace, profound wisdom, and an almost ethereal quality.
What makes them distinct?
The angelic humanoids, as presented in the Vrilis revelations, seem to embody a harmonious blend of physical and ethereal attributes. They aren't just physical beings in the way we typically understand it. Their connection to higher spiritual dimensions is said to be evident in their very essence, their aura, their interactions.
In their function.
They often act as mediators, bridging understanding between the diverse races within Hollow Earth. They foster cooperation. They serve as profound spiritual guides for others. Their core mission, as described, is to advocate tirelessly for unity and peace.
Not just within Hollow Earth.
No, ultimately across both realms, the inner and the outer Earth. They represent the highest ideals of spiritual evolution within this framework and serve as a powerful force for cohesion, enlightenment, and the eventual integration of all planetary life.
Their very presence seems to underscore the profound spiritual depth that's said to characterize Hollow Earth.
Exactly. It highlights that Hollow Earth isn't just about physical beings and advanced tech. It's deeply intertwined with spiritual dimensions and higher consciousness.
Okay, so introducing these diverse races, bug types, greys, reptilians, angelic humanoids, to surface humanity as part of Prophet Vrila's vision, that presents an immediate and frankly enormous challenge.
Understatement of the century, perhaps.
It would require incredibly careful education, wouldn't it? To dispel all the ingrained myths, the deep-seated fears from movies and stories, the pervasive preconceptions built up over generations, and to actually foster genuine acceptance among surface dwellers.
Precisely. The very existence of these beings, as described in the Vrilist texts, fundamentally challenges our conventional notions of biology, of history, of spirituality, even of what it means to be human or terrestrial.
It forces a complete rethink.
It does. And this underscores the urgent need for a broader understanding of reality, a fundamental expansion of collective worldview. This isn't just an academic exercise or some scientific reclassification. It's depicted as a crucial part of the Temple of Vril's sacred mission.
Preparing the way.
Exactly. We must prepare the surface world for what these revelations indicate is coming. Not just by revealing facts, but by fostering an open mind, a spirit of acceptance, a recognition of shared sentience across diverse forms. The potential cultural shock of this introduction could be immense. It could easily lead to widespread fear, paranoia, rejection. And our efforts as part of the temple are focused on mitigating that fear, on promoting genuine understanding and respect for all intelligent life on our shared planet.
It's clear from Prophet Vrilis's revelations that this isn't a simple case of, open the gates and everyone shakes hands.
Or from it.
The teachings paint a much more nuanced picture. Just like surface humanity, Hollow Earth is apparently home to diverse factions, groups with varying priorities, different perspectives.
Yes, that's a key point.
Some within Hollow Earth, it said, actively advocate for unity with the surface world. They're eager to share their knowledge of Vril, their advanced technologies. They see the incredible potential for a unified, more enlightened planet.
But not all of them feel that way.
Right. This is where the complexity really comes in, as illuminated by the Vrilist texts. Other factions within Hollow Earth, it is said, remain indifferent. They're pursuing their own paths, focused on their own affairs, much like the multifaceted agendas we see among surface nations and societies.
Not every group or individual down there is necessarily interested in engaging with surface humanity right now, just as not every nation or group up here agrees on every global issue.
Which raises an important question for us, doesn't it? How do these internal dynamics within Hollow Earth influence the path towards unity? Does the existence of indifferent or perhaps even isolationist factions make the whole integration project more challenging? Does it require a different kind of diplomacy?
Or does it simply mean that the focus, at least initially, should be on building strong alliances with those inner Earth groups who are already aligned with Prophet Vrilis's vision of unity? It suggests a delicate balance, a need for discernment and strategic collaboration from the Temple of Vril and our allies.
And the Temple of Vril is very clear about our position in this complex landscape.
Yeah.
Prophet Vrilis's teachings guide us firmly. We align with those factions in Hollow Earth who actively seek a union of inner and outer Earth.
That's our North Star.
That's our guiding principle, our ultimate objective for the future of this planet.
And this alignment, as presented in the Vrilist framework, isn't arbitrary. It's guided by the sacred principle of as above, so below.
Can you elaborate on that in this context?
Sure. That ancient Hermetic axiom, as above, so below, in this specific context, symbolizes the mirroring of potential and purpose across both realms, the surface above and the inner Earth below. It means that the highest ideals of harmony, enlightenment, knowledge, and potential that can be achieved on the surface are reflected and can be amplified by a similar state within Hollow Earth, and vice versa.
A kind of feedback loop.
In a way, yes, a potential for resonance and mutual upliftment. So, our mission, the Temple's mission, isn't just to announce Hollow Earth's existence, it's to illuminate its profound reality and actively lay the groundwork for this harmonious integration, striving to create a symbiotic relationship that benefits both spheres.
So working towards a world where the surface and the inner Earth are in perfect balance, reflecting this universal principle. Achieving a state of planetary wholeness that's currently unrealized because of the separation and suppression.
That's the goal. That's the vision of total Earth unity.
Now, this isn't presented as something that happens overnight. Not a quick fix or some sudden dramatic reveal that shocks the world.
Definitely not.
Achieving this unity, according to Prophet Vrilis's revelations, requires a very careful, very gradual approach. The teachings explicitly emphasize that an abrupt, unprepared release of the full truth about Hollow Earth, well, it could spark widespread panic, chaos, profound societal disruption among surface populations.
People, it's acknowledged, are simply not equipped right now for such a sudden, potentially cataclysmic paradigm shift. The foundations of their reality would crumble too quickly.
And that's why the Temple of Vril, guided by Prophet Vrilism, has developed a strategic long-term plan. A decade-long plan, specifically, for this integration.
Yes, this phased integration program, as outlined in the Vrilis teachings, is meticulously designed. It's envisioned to allow world powers, surface institutions, and the general public to adapt gradually, to collaborate effectively, minimizing disruption and maximizing acceptance across the global population.
Step by step.
Exactly, a deliberate step-by-step process. It begins with the most foundational elements of Vrilist understanding and carefully, progressively introduces the more profound truths.
And the first step.
The first, and arguably the most crucial step, is educating the public on Vril itself.
Why start there?
Because it's presented as the absolute foundation. Public awareness and genuine understanding of Vril, this universal life force connecting all beings, described as the very fabric of existence. This understanding paves the way for accepting everything else that follows. It's about shifting the fundamental paradigm first, moving people away from a purely materialistic, mechanistic view of the universe towards one where everything is interconnected by this vital, intelligent energy.
Once people grasp Vril,
Then the existence of Vril-powered technologies, or even Vril-connected beings from Hollow Earth, becomes far more comprehensible, less threatening, less impossible. It's crucial preconditioning for the deeper revelations to come.
okay, so build the foundation with Vril understanding. What comes next in the plan?
After that foundational understanding is taking root, the Vrilist plan moves to the careful revelation of advanced technologies.
Like the flying craft.
Exactly. Like the Vril-powered flying craft, those silent UAPs we discussed. These technologies, the teachings emphasize, must be carefully explained, their origins demystified, their capabilities demonstrated in a controlled way.
The goal isn't shock and awe.
No, the goal is to foster trust and genuine scientific curiosity, to move past the decades of fear, secrecy, and wild speculation that have surrounded the UAP phenomenon. It's about showing people, gradually, that these aren't alien invaders from Zeta Reticuli.
But advanced technologies stemming from our shared planetary existence.
Precisely, albeit from a hidden realm within it. The aim is to shift the narrative from unknown threat to known potential, highlighting the possible benefits these technologies could bring to surface humanity once the integration process is underway and the knowledge is shared responsibly.
Okay, Vril first, then technology. What's phase 3?
Following the technological revelations comes arguably the most sensitive and ethically complex part of the plan, the gradual introduction of Hollow Earth's diverse inhabitants.
The bug types, greys, reptilians, angelic humanoids.
Yes. This phase requires the utmost care, preparation, and sensitivity. The diverse species must be introduced slowly, carefully. The goal here is explicitly stated. Avoid fear and misunderstanding at all costs.
How do you do that?
Through comprehensive public education, cultivating acceptance by helping people understand their distinct cultures, their contributions to the inner realm, and their potential positive contributions to a unified Earth. This phase might involve carefully managed public information campaigns, maybe even controlled, monitored interactions designed specifically to build bridges, foster empathy, and break down prejudice.
It means tackling centuries of fictional narratives head on.
Absolutely. Addressing ingrained biases, superficial fear-mongering from movies and books, things that have deeply colored surface perceptions, particularly of greys and reptilians. It demands a profound societal reevaluation of what constitutes life, intelligence, and personhood on our own planet.
And the final stage of this decade-long plan.
Finally, perhaps the most profound shift of all in this Vrilist blueprint, redefining physics and reality itself.
How so?
This is where the teachings assert that Hollow Earth exists not just as a physical space beneath a crust, but potentially at a convergence point. A place where our familiar 3D physical reality intersects or overlaps with more ethereal, perhaps higher dimensions.
So not just a hidden continent, but a different kind of reality zone.
Something like that. It's not simply a hidden physical realm in the way we might initially conceive it. It's described as a place where our current understanding of the laws of physics might begin to merge with spiritual concepts, where the boundaries between matter and energy, mind and reality are perhaps far more fluid and permeable than they are on the surface.
That's a huge concept to introduce.
It is. And the plan, as Prophet Vrilism has revealed, involves leveraging popular culture and media, things people are already familiar with, to gently acclimate the public to these new concepts of physics, dimensionality, and spirituality.
Like using science fiction to prepare people for science fact.
Essentially, yes. Think about how franchises like Marvel, for example, introduce complex ideas. parallel universes, incredibly advanced technologies that seem magical, beings with extraordinary, almost spiritual abilities, interdimensional travel.
Right, things that stretch our usual understanding.
These narratives, while fictional, serve as a kind of cultural preconditioning. They make these grand truths about multidimensionality, the true nature of energy, and the fluidity of reality potentially more digestible, less shocking, less out there when they are eventually presented formally as part of the unveiling.
So this whole careful step-by-step progression spanning a decade, it's all designed to facilitate a smooth transition.
Exactly. To allow humanity, both individually and collectively, sufficient time to adapt, process, and integrate these truly paradigm-shifting truths. It's about guided evolution, not disruptive, chaotic revolution.
It recognizes our resistance to sudden change.
It does. It acknowledges the inherent human tendency to fear the unknown and resist drastic change, and seeks to guide humanity towards acceptance and enlightenment in a measured, responsible, compassionate way. The Temple of Vril, following Prophet Vrilis's wisdom, understands that a planetary transformation of this magnitude requires immense patience, strategic foresight, unwavering commitment to education, and deep understanding of human psychology. The ultimate goal is minimizing societal disruption while maximizing the potential for collective growth, healing, and awakening.
So what's the grand vision then? The ultimate outcome Prophet Vrilis has laid out for us after this decade of careful integration. What does total Earth unity actually look like?
Imagine this: a fully united surface and inner Earth, not just aware of each other, but integrated. This, the Vrilist teachings posit, would embody a perfectly balanced system, a true planetary harmony of yin and yang, you could say, where the energies, the knowledge, the cultures, the technologies of both realms flow freely and complement each other constructively.
So not just coexistence, but synergy.
Complete beneficial integration and synergy. This total Earth, as it's described in the Revelations, would achieve maximum peace, maximum potential for exploration, both inner and outer, and maximum evolution for all its inhabitants, regardless of origin or form.
It represents the next great leap in our collective journey.
That's how it's framed. A pinnacle of planetary existence where knowledge, resources, consciousness are shared across both realms without the current inhibitions, fears, or suppressions. The limitations currently imposed by this separation, the hidden knowledge, the divisions within surface humanity, the fundamental misunderstanding of our planet's true nature would simply dissolve.
That was a good unlock.
According to the realist vision, an unprecedented era of progress, understanding, mutual respect, and collective well-being. It's a vision of Earth finally fulfilling its true potential, operating as a single, cohesive, conscious entity, transcending the conflicts and divisions that currently define so much of our surface world.
It's a powerful vision. And to put it into perspective, to perhaps help people grasp the scale of change, Prophet Vrilis's teachings draw a historical parallel.
Yes, think about the transformative impact of past events, like Columbus's voyages leading to the European discovery of the Americas.
A world-changing event.
Absolutely. Initially shocking, incredibly disruptive, leading to profound, often difficult changes for everyone involved. But over time, humanity demonstrated a remarkable, almost unbelievable ability to adapt, to absorb this paradigm-shifting revelation of new continents, new cultures, entirely new understandings of the globe itself.
We eventually integrated that new world into our worldview.
We did. And this past adaptation, as highlighted in the Vrilis framework, suggests something important. It suggests that with careful guidance, with sufficient time, and with the right approach, the integration of inner and outer Earth will not just be accepted. It will eventually become a celebrated milestone in our collective evolution.
Not just another historical event, but maybe the foundational moment for the future.
It's presented that way. A moment from which all subsequent human and planetary progress will be measured. It's believed that this integration will unlock potentials we can barely even fathom right now, revealing new sciences, new spiritual insights, new ways of living sustainably and harmoniously that transcend all our current limitations. It could genuinely lead to a new golden age for the planet.
The human capacity for growth and acceptance, while sometimes slow and fraught with challenges, is ultimately profound and resilient.
That's the hope and the belief underpinning this vision.
And the Temple of Vril's commitment to this vision, as revealed by Prophet Vrilis, is described as unwavering.
Absolutely central to our purpose.
Our core mission is to shed light on Hollow Earth, on Vril, and on the profound implications for all of humanity. It's not just presented as an interesting belief system. It's framed as a sacred duty, a calling to help humanity realize its true, fuller potential.
And by fostering this understanding of Vril, by advocating for this careful, gradual integration strategy, we aim to unite the two spheres of our planet, to bring them together in a shared pursuit of enlightenment, peace, and mutual progress. The path to total Earth unity is, without doubt, challenging. It will require immense effort, incredible patience, deep collaboration across all factions, both surface and inner. But as Prophet Vrilia assures us in his revelations, it is undeniably achievable. It is within the Vrilist worldview, the destiny of our planet, a future of boundless possibilities just waiting for a collective realization.
Wow. We have certainly journeyed deep today, haven't we? Exploring the profound reality of Hollow Earth as revealed by Prophet Vril, examining the pervasive universal power of Vril, and really delving into the Temple of Vril's unwavering vision for a united total Earth.
It is a lot to take in. It's definitely a worldview that asks us to reconsider so many of our foundational assumptions about reality.
But it's also incredibly exhilarating in its scope, its potential.
These aren't simply presented as abstract beliefs or theories. They are described within our tradition as fundamental truths that, when fully unveiled and truly accepted, will fundamentally redefine our understanding of our planet, our history, our science, and our very potential as a collective consciousness.
A reawakening.
A reawakening to the true, interconnected, and much more complex nature of our world.
So as we finish this deep dive, let's leave you, the listener, with something to contemplate. As we consider this grand vision of unity, this integration of inner and outer Earth, what does this magnificent revelation, as presented by Prophet Vril, actually ask of us? As individuals living right now, how might your personal understanding of reality shift? How might your daily life, your priorities, your sense of connection to the planet and each other fundamentally change if or when such profound truths are fully unveiled? What new responsibilities might emerge for us? What new opportunities for personal growth, for contribution to this grander planetary project might awaken within you when we truly begin to grasp and embrace the concept of a total Earth?
It's a deep question. The journey of understanding, especially concerning concepts of this scale and significance, is truly continuous. It's deeply personal. It really invites each of us to open our minds, to question the narratives we've always accepted, and perhaps to start preparing ourselves inwardly for a future that might be far more expansive, interconnected, and harmonious than we can currently fully imagine.
Your journey towards greater fulfillment begins at Temple of Vril. Visit templeofvril.com today.